Hi folks, George back with another video. Today I'm going to have a wee attempt at Richard MCcook showed 10 acoustic LPs, and I've got loads in my collection, and some came to mind really quickly, although I've got hundreds, thousands, well hundreds to choose from. So no jazz, just everyday albums that are pretty good really. Slightly unusual. Right, so the first one is Prefab Sprout from 2019. This was released and it's Steve McQueen's the name of the album. It was first released in 1985 and Paddy McAloon redone it, just an acoustic album, and it's just himself. It should really be Paddy McAloon, but they've stuck Prefab Sprout in it, I think, probably just to try and sell it a wee bit better. So it's just Paddy doing the whole Steve McQueen album, which is only 8 tracks, I think. Fantastic album at the time. Steve McQueen, When Love Breaks Down was the big single off it, and this was a nice, when I heard it was coming out, he was doing this. A big favourite of mine at the time, the album was from the northeast of England. That's Prefab Sprout and the acoustic Steve McQueen. And released on the same day in 2019, RSD Day, was Graham Parker, Squeezing Out Sparks. And this was the solo acoustic 40th anniversary from the original album was released in 1979. It'd be Graham Parker and the Rumour, Squeezing Out Sparks, and that album sort of really broke Graham Parker more worldwide. It was probably his 4th album at the time. 5th album at the time. But it was probably his most commercial album, Squeezing Out Sparks. And I was always a big fan of Graham Parker. He gets linked in there with Elvis Costello, but I guess it's in the same, that late 70s new wave. It generated a lot of fantastic musicians appeared in that era. And so this is also, that was nice to pick up at the time. Graham Parker, Squeezing Out Sparks, acoustic. Now from 1976, we've got the self-titled album Joan Armatrading. I think this was our maybe second LP, second or third. And it's got the big single on it, Love and Affection. And this is a fantastic acoustic album. It's on the A&M Records. The insert there with the lyrics. There's a bit of a band on this, but it's all acoustic, bass, drums, and another guitar. Yeah, this is a classic acoustic artist, Joan Armatrading. Brilliant album, great artist. So that's the English version, and the American version of that album is Tracy Chapman. Such a big album at the time. What was it, 1988? On Elektra. Again, I think it's got an insert. Lyrics on the other side. Yeah, fantastic album. The 2 hit singles, Talking About a Revolution and Fast Car. Side A is just brilliant on this, and then she does my favourite track, and it's called Behind the Wall, which is just Tracy Chapman singing. Getting harder to find this album. She's never allowed it, I think, to be reissued, so pick up if you can. It's a classic album. You can still find it in some second-hand shops, but prices have been rising. Tracy Chapman, beautiful acoustic album, self-titled. Another lady from the States is Michell, Shocked, the Texas Campfire Tapes. And this is from 1986, Cooking Vinyl Records. So Michelle was in Texas for a folk festival, and she was pulled aside, don't know when, but you can see her sitting on the fence there, and they recorded her to that tape. Maybe it was easier to do rather than record her on stage or whatever, so I think she's just herself there really, so it's nice and quiet, but you can hear all the crickets and things in the background. A fantastic album, and so it was a wee bit loud there on the music. Michelle shocked. I forgot an album in a way, but really intimate album. And now a biggie, Eric Clapton, Unplugged. This is a double album from 1992. Yes, what can you say about this? Mo-Fi, I think, in recent times reissued it. Tears in Heaven's absolutely fantastic on this. Layla too, obviously his big song. And Malted Milk, a Robert Johnson track, and Rollin' and Tumblin'. Fantastic album, and one of Eric Clapton's better albums, I think. Sounds great in the system. Eric Clapton Unplugged. Now we have David Crosby. This is a Mo-Fi copy. 2-disc 45, and If Only I Could Remember My Name, I think is the name of it. If Only I Could Remember My Name, yep. And this is David Crosby's first solo album, and really any of his albums, or Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, The Byrds he was in obviously, are all acoustic and fantastic albums. And this is by no exception. A lot of players on this, but it doesn't sound like it. Again, it's quite an intimate album. The acoustics is brilliant. This is an all analog copy, one of the few in recent times that Mo-Fi did, and I've got copy 134 of 4000. A lot of players on this, as I say. Graham Nash plays on it, Neil Young appears on it. Who else have we got? Jerry Garcia's on it, Grace Slick, and Johnny Michell amongst others. But a lot of players, but absolutely fantastic acoustic album. And yeah, love David Crosby. Another American guitarist that did die too young is a favourite of mine. It's Michael Hedges, and this is on the Windham Hill label. This is actually a promo copy. This album's called Strings of Steel, which is a compilation. A lot of paraphernalia on this. Yeah, this is Strings of Steel, which is a compilation. I don't think the compilation was released in America, but this is a promo from America. A couple of different tracks from the UK comp at the time. But a great track too. If you've never heard Michael Hedges, he doesn't play with his harp guitar all the time, but it's quite a feature of him. His Aerial Boundaries, such a fantastic acoustic track. He also does a great version of All Along the Watchtower, which I think is one of the tracks that's been substituted here on this version. But one of my favourite guitarists for sure, Michael Hedges, and this is a compilation, Strings of Steel. Another fantastic American guitarist, and James Buttery showed a couple of his LPs he got recently, so I had to stick them back on the turntable, and such a delight is Robbie Bashford, and again this is on the Windham Hill label. Robbie Bashford, absolutely fantastic guitarist. The Art of Acoustic Steel String Guitar 6 and 12. Now, Robbie Bashford done 2 LPs on Windham Hill. This is fairly easy to get. The other one is pretty hard. I've searched out a couple of times, but can't find a copy in the UK. But Robbie Bashford, fantastic guitarist, occasionally sings, but his guitar playing is sublime. Robbie Bashford, fantastic. And last but not least, we have Nils Lofgren, acoustic live. Now this was originally released as a CD only in 1997 or 8, I think. Analog Productions eventually released it, don't know when. It was a double 33, which I got at the time when they released that. They eventually released it in a box set with 4 LPs. There's 2 in this, 4 at 45. I seen them about 4 years ago, and the famous track on this is Keith Don't Go. If you've not heard it, you've got to have a listen to it. It's a famous track. I mean, all the tracks are brilliant anyway, and did they not play Keith Don't Go? I was gutted. It was such a fantastic concert though. That's Nils Lofgren and Acoustic Live. Okay guys, that's all I've got for now. Maybe catch you next week. Bye now.